number 4 says, notice this World Cup, the lack of African fans for their teams. Jose, if you're still out there, you might be good with this topic as well. Um, if you can come up and lend your voice to this conversation, this comes with a link that's gonna take us to X, I believe. Yeah, make sure you guys can see my screen. My computer's working slow, so okay, there you go. So this is from the New York Times, actually. It says from the Athletic Football, Senegal captain Kalidou Koulibaly. You know, it's funny. I had a teacher in school back home whose last name was Koulibaly. Has questioned why his country's fans have been hamstrung in their attempts to support their national team during the World Cup, with Senegalese nationals facing a travel ban in the United States. Let me read that one more time. This is from the Athletic Football Club. It says Senegal captain Kalidou Koulibaly has questioned why his country's fans have been hamstrung in their attempts to support their national team during the World Cup, with Senegalese nationals facing a travel ban in the United States. And this is the image along with the tweet. It says that I don't understand why people from Africa cannot have their people, says Kalidou Koulibaly. He says Senegal's captain questions the World Cup travel ban for the nation's fans. Let me see if there's more to this. There's a couple of tweets here. I know someone just came in. Okay, I got you in. Someone here named Shane says the problem lies with FIFA, on my opinion. They could have moved the games to a more friendlier country for it to be truly a World Cup for all nations, not just Europe and Americas. And he asks FIFA, he says, didn't have the FIFA didn't have the spine to discourage the racism from Trump. Someone says watch the DR Congo, the Portugal Congo game, and the stadium is a sea of red with little patches of blue here and there. That lack of support for African teams is so glaring. Last person, Steve from the Brooklyn Dispatch, says he has a fair concern. This World Cup in America has been a shambles and completely unequitable. Shame, shame, shame. Uh, with that said, let me put the original image up. Um, Let me just go right down the line with this. Black Steel, how do you feel about the lack of African fans for their teams in the World Cup?
Donald Trump and his administration are white nationalists, so that's why they're doing this. And you know that was a very loud call for the games to be moved or to be boycotted, and you know the game that was not heeded. So yeah, this is a very glaring, obvious issue because you know why are we surprised? This is a white nationalist president, so of course he's going to be a white nationalist. We see he's done what he's done with the Iranian team. He kicked, you know, after their game, they were forced to leave the country. That black Somalian referee was forced to leave the country. He wouldn't let him attend. Um, a lot of different teams are being searched. Um, so yeah, it's not any surprise of what's going on. Like this is America's racist, and they're exhibiting their racism in your face. But they're making a lot of money off of it. So that's kind of where, you know, and you had black people playing the games and everything, but the whole situation could have been avoided. We knew what this was going to be. When they said ICE was going to be attending the games, we knew what it was. Like, what are we doing here? What's happening? So, yeah, that's basically all it is, man. It's just a matter of just poor people being forced to watch this racist ass soccer game, whereas the president of the United States is a racist, open racist. His administration is racist, and they're making everything difficult. So I'm not surprised that the Congo fans are having a difficult time attending games. My thing is, so it's not just the United States, but it's Mexico and Canada. Why wasn't the African referee, if the United States didn't want to admit him, why not just referee the games in Canada and Mexico? That same restriction doesn't appear to be on those two countries. So I'm just wondering, but yet FIFA's still sending back to Somalia. It's crazy how they're operating, how they're doing this whole situation, man. It's all a joke, really. Nobody should be attending these games, especially the games held in the United States being controlled by a white nationalist president who's an open white nationalist. Go ahead and I don't know. I feel like the game should have been either moved. They refused to move from the United States, boycott the games, because this was the predicted outcome, and what's happening as we predicted. This was going to happen. But yeah, I'll leave it there, Coach. I figured this is going to be the case.
All right, I appreciate that, Black Steel. Lot of Slaughter, I made you a mod. So drop that link again because I don't see the link. So drop that link again for me, Lot of Slaughter. I'll play it as soon as you drop it. I should be able to pick it up from there. Okay, Lot of Slaughter just dropped it again. In the meantime, while I work on that link, Brother Bakari, what say you?
My one of my homeboys went to the Senegal, went to the game in New Jersey when they played France, and he said that was one of the things that they were constantly talking about, and he don't blame him because he really likes Senegal, right? He had the opportunity to go there like 3 times, so he went to support Senegal, and he was like, man. And from what he was saying, he was like, we don't understand how Senegal travel, how that team travel. And they say normally travel with about going to different countries, World Cup, because he's saying been about 3 of them, about 25,000 people. And they weren't allowed to bring their fans. Congo were not allowed to bring all of their fans here. But like Black Steel said, we have a and I say this to make me say this, and I really make Christians mad, but we have a white Christian nationalist as president, and like Black Steel said, say, what do you expect? And he's doing it right in our face. And what Black Steel said, I was going to mention that too about Iran. I forget where they played at, but they had to fly after their game. They have to fly to Mexico. They can't even stay. They can't even stay in the states. Can't stay where their game is played. They have to come from Mexico on game day. So I like Black Steel, there's not much you can say. This guy, he's showing you who and what. He's showing you who and what he is. And basically, he's daring people to do something about it. Because while they're doing that, who is it? Wasn't it Kenya that's made some type of deal with America? So they can constantly disrespect us and our people, as long as we got some people, as long as some of our people willing to just, you know what, I'm going to get some money out the deal. So that's what's important. And I think that is a foul. So yeah, it's real messed up. You're right. They could have played in Canada. They could have played in Mexico. So whoever said FIFA is a criminal organization and said what they said about FIFA, FIFA is also letting you know that they agree with Donald Trump, and I yield the mic.
Yolanda Slaughter said FIFA is a criminal enterprise. Earlier, Trigger Happy 262 Plus said, watching that Ivory Coast versus Ecuador game, barely any Ivorian fans. Man, it was sad. Jose joined us, but before I go to Jose, Lord of Slaughter suggested this video. I'm gonna switch it to this video. I've seen this sister on social media. God damn it. Hold on. I've seen this sister on social media. I've seen little clips of her before. Lord of Slaughter says to subscribe to her channel. So you guys, if you I'll tell you her name in a second. You guys subscribe as well. She does drop some jewels. What's her name? Ashley B. So subscribe to Ashley B. Subscribe to her channel. Maybe I subscribed already? No. Subscribe to Ashley's channel. Click the bell to be notified. And by the way, if you haven't done that here, do the same for me as well. Subscribe. Click the bell to be notified. I'm going to play her video. It's a 4-minute video. I'm going to play her video, and then we'll let Jose respond to all of it, because part of this is a little bit personal to him as well. So let's watch.
FIFA gave Donald Trump a peace prize? Ew. So naturally, I wanted to know what the fuck. So I went down a rabbit hole, and it turned out to be significantly worse than I expected. In December 2025, FIFA gave the President of the United States their peace prize. You know, for peace. The citation said something about his unwavering commitment to advancing peace and unity throughout the world. Huh? That's crazy, right? Because in April 2025, the federal government that this man runs deported a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer. His name is Romeo. He has a 7-year-old sister named Ruby. She's also an American citizen. They were deported right alongside their mother, Rosario, back to Honduras. ICE refused to let their attorneys speak with them. They were lied to about where they were going, and they were gone in 3 days. That same week, another American citizen toddler named Jade, 2 years old, was deported with her mother, Julia. Same procedure, same Louisiana ICE office. The man whose government deported these children got a peace prize. In the 6 months since, this administration has deported over 500,000 people. ICE is killing American citizens. Fans from Haiti, Iran, Senegal, and the Ivory Coast cannot enter the country hosting their own teams. Visitors from the rest of the world, they're being asked to hand over their social media to be screened for anti-Americanism. FIFA was told, Amnesty International, the ACLU, the NAACP, Human Rights Watch, 90 organizations signed a letter, and FIFA gave him the prize anyway. They brought that tournament here anyway. So I went looking at what FIFA is, because I didn't really know much about the sport, if I'm being honest. FIFA's a criminal enterprise, and I am not exaggerating. In 2015, the DOJ indicted 9 FIFA officials on racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering. The indictment covered over $150 million in bribes over 2 decades. Eventually, 45 people were charged. Over $200 million in documented bribes. The 2018 World Cup in Russia was bought with bribes. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was bought with bribes. A FIFA vice president named Jack Warner took $5 million in bribes from Russia for his own vote. That's the public indictment. FIFA's last president, Sepp Blatter, he ran the organization for 17 years, and he was ousted for ethics violations during the same scandal. This is not an organization that's lost its way. This is what FIFA is. They've been bribed for decades to award tournaments to authoritarian governments. Argentina, 1978. FIFA held the World Cup there. Meanwhile, the government was disappearing tens of thousands of its own people, Black people. Russia, 2018. FIFA held the World Cup there while Russia was still at war with Ukraine. Russia had annexed Crimea in 2014. Russia had shot down a passenger plane over Ukraine in 2014, killing all 298 people on board. Russia was still occupying eastern Ukraine when the tournament kicked off. Multiple governments asked FIFA to move it. Sepp Blatter refused. And I really don't give a shit if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. The games went on. Qatar 2022. The Guardian documented 6,500 migrant workers from South Asia. They died in Qatar during the decade after FIFA awarded them the tournament. Most of them are buried in unmarked graves. Their families were never compensated. For most of that decade, Qatar's kafala labor system legally trapped migrant workers and made it illegal for them to change jobs or leave the country without their employer's approval. Being gay in Qatar was punishable by prison. FIFA knew all of it, and FIFA still played the games anyway. And now the United States in 2026, while this country is deporting 4-year-old cancer patients, the man running all that is wearing a FIFA Peace Prize. Are y'all mad yet?
Let me keep that fine sister up on the screen there. Boy, is she East African or something? That forehead makes me think she's from East Africa. She reminds me of a girl I know, but the eyes, Let me stop. This is not shoot the breeze after dark. So I'll just leave it there. But beautiful sister, and from what I've seen of her content, she's always on point. Where's Trigger Happy in the chat? He's gone quiet all of a sudden. Trigger Happy, let's hear some thoughts from you on this now. So that takes us to Jose. Jose, how are you this week?
Hello, family. Yes, I came just on time, right?
Yes,
Now it's not completely personal for me, but yeah, maybe maybe I have a handful of shots. It's the nonsense started long before the tournament started. Italy didn't make it, and Italy is one of the soccer giants, right? And they didn't make it, and their coach complained about too many African teams that made it. So it started long ago, long before the orange phenomenon showed what we all knew. So yeah, it's Europeans are constantly complaining about their teams being too black, and yeah, I mean, what can I say, man? That's the Italian coach complaining. It's a sore loser. He didn't make it, and shut up. Take a seat in your couch at home in Italy and watch the games. But yeah, maybe the personal part is the mother of the phenomenon, Vozinho, the keeper, the goalkeeper of Cape Verde Islands. His name is Vozinho, is a little voice, but yeah, to us Cape Verdeans, of course, it's it's a loud. He made a loud yell for us, in contrary to his name. But his mother didn't make it. His mother was not present because yeah, they didn't have the money for the visa, and that's speaking of money. It's funny that that African supporters are barred from being present, as if the supporters would stay illegally, or overstay their visa or whatever. But look at the prices of the tickets. I mean, anybody that could fly over to the United States, stay in hotels, buy the tickets, fly between different cities to be present for the games. Are those the type of Africans that would overstay their visas and stay in the United States illegally? It's these savage primates are underdeveloped. I the only so lately the only social media where I'm present is X, and to me it's so damn clear how underdeveloped and savage primates that we are dealing with. These ain't where's the logic? Are these supposed to be the most civilized and intelligent people? Absolutely not. So today I read a post. A Chinese man that lives in Cape Verde Islands for over 20 years, I believe 23 years. He sponsored the mother of the Cape Verdean goalkeeper. So now she is present. But it's and then another funny angle is so Africans are undermining FBA. How? Where are they? I mean, I guess the fans that are present are immigrants, right? If the actual Congolese and the actual Senegalese are stopped are barred from being present, the fans that we see are most probably the diaspora, right? Immigrants. But where are they? It's a handful. And a handful of Africans are undermining the FBA. Wow. 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 Yeah, and just like the other speakers in the panel, what can you say? Yeah, what can we say? I hope it makes an impact to the global south. I mean, how many impacts do we need to understand what we are dealing with? But yeah, I hope that again it makes an impact. I mean, uh, it's, I can't wait for the world to ditch, drop, cut off the so-called West, because they are showing who they are. And another thing about the lady in the video, it was not Russians that shot the plane down. It was Azov battalion in the eastern part, from the eastern part of Ukraine, that shot the airplane, because that's also kind of personal, because over 200 people in that airplane were Dutch. So there was a lot of drama in the Netherlands about that airplane, and they worked so hard to blame it to blame the Russians, but it was an Azov battalion squad with of course Soviet material. So yeah, um, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wait,
Thank you.
hold on, Jose. Wait a minute. Tomorrow, Cape Verde plays Uruguay. I could guess who you have, but who do you think comes out of it tomorrow?
Difficult to say. Difficult to say. I, I think they did a they. I mean, Spain is also a soccer giant, and they played 0-0. It was kind of during the game I was kind of disappointed. I was like, okay, what do we have to lose, right? We are a tiny country. It's the first time. What do we have to lose? Attack, 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 because they were playing very defensive. But at the end of the day, 0-0 is 1 point. We got 1 point, and Uruguay is maybe not a giant. Maybe in the early days of the world soccer world championship, Uruguay and Paraguay and of course Brazil and Argentina, they won a couple of times. I believe till this day Paraguay is the country that won the most, but that was in the 40s and 50s. But uh, yeah, logically, I hope they win. And to be honest, I think they can have Uruguay and Saudi Arabia. I think they can have them. I believe they can win both of the remaining games in this group. Yeah, yeah. I think maybe 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Yeah, I think they can win both.
All right, I'm gonna be looking for that tomorrow.
Oh,
Uh,
by the way, six of them live in the Netherlands.
I'm not surprised by that actually. Okay, okay. Uh, I was gonna ask question about something. I just forgot the question, but let's stay on topic, I guess. In the chat, um, Trigger Happy says FIFA has always shown they are a criminal organization. Just look at how they deal with the Palestine situation, the Palestinian team specifically. Trigger reminds us Cape Verde plays Uruguay tomorrow. Valsara says, I think Pan-Africanism has the government scared. He says FBA is mad because they aren't on TV. Trigger Happy says, honestly, many players play defensively for tactical reasons. It opens you up if you don't, unless you have the same offensive power. Cancel out. That's a fact too. With that said, does anyone have any on the panel have any last thoughts on this prompt? I know it's a soccer prompt, a football prompt, so maybe a lot of folks mightn't have too much to say about it. But something Jose said I want to touch on real quick is the prices. The prices. It's becoming clearer and clearer that the games that we love as kids, and for those of us who are fortunate to become professionals at, and then those of us who love our teams, etc., we're being priced out of these things. Soccer is a thing, man. Any little bit of space you had back home, you play a little soccer, a little small goal or something. But then you want to go and support say Haiti, for example, and you can't afford those prices to go, like Jose said, to fly in, book a hotel, buy a ticket. Like, you can't really afford it no more. And just to expand it out. The Knicks recently won the championship. Shout out to the Knicks. But I was watching the games and looking at those seats, especially those within view of the closer to the floor. You really can't see a black person there, man. And let's be real, a bunch of tethers won the Knicks championship, right? Big Bodega, Cat, Tether, Brunson, Tether, right? Hard, I think, was like a bunch of them. But the people who really are the fans, who keep that going, who buy the merchandise, this, that, and the other, cannot go to those games. And if they can afford to make it, they're way up in the so-called nosebleeds. There's something, we got to do something different. We really got to separate from these folks and make it something that we can actually tune into and enjoy, and you know what I mean? And we can put our dollars behind because it goes to our people, things of that nature. So I just want to point that out. Oh, Jacadero's in the chat. He says, ha ha, tethers. He said, you're not wrong, though. I'm still rolling. Man, good conversation. Dorico said facts. Trey Happy said, LOL, tethers are what makes the American team for this World Cup good. Absolutely. White supremacists who want to win will always use black mercenaries to make black countries lose. I like that comment a lot. Hey, guys, in the chat, if you have been enjoying these conversations tonight, drop a fire emoji for me. Let the panelists know that you're still tuned in and you appreciate their contributions to this discussion tonight. And while I'm at it too, let me shout out Buana. We haven't had Buana in a little while. He's busy with some function, some work back home. So we look forward to his return. But shout out to Buana as well. Let's go right into it then. Let's go to Shoot the Breeze, topic number 5. This will be the last topic of the night. I hope I set this up Let me see. Let me just make sure I set it up before I move on. Maybe I didn't. While I'm setting this up, I just want to remind you guys of all the other active shows on KWAZ Radio. So make sure you guys check out Kofi the Black Critic. He had a good stream the other night. Yes, Dorico Trighappy is on point. So there's a lot of slaughter as well in the chat. But I was saying something. Yeah, make sure you check out all the other shows on KWAZ Radio. In particular, Kofi the Black Critic. He had a good live the other night with Brother Bakari and Black Steel, so shout out to them. And I think a lot of Slaughter joined them that night too, as a matter of fact. So good conversation. Shout out to them for that. Shout out to the Forecast Radio. Very consistent. Shout out to the Forecast. And Oni was doing some, I think they were lives. Oni put up some new content recently. Check out Oni, the Pro-Black Perspective as well. So I got a couple of fire emojis, a lot of Slaughter, Jack Cadero, Provide Triggers for Evolution, the Matron, Trig Happy 262 Plus. So thank you for that. Hopefully the panel enjoys seeing those fire emojis.